Welcome back to the Controvert podcast. Today we're going to talk about trad wives or traditional wives. Is it outdated? Is it something that we need to fix modern dating? Or is it the ideal relationship that men need just in general? And today we have a full house once again. We'll introduce everyone after we start with the intro, so stick around. Welcome back to a Controvert podcast where we talk about modern dating, growth motivation, and crazy stories. Today we have a full house and we're going to go around and introduce everyone again. So we have some, what is it called? Like familiar recurring faces. Guests, familiar faces. Yes. Let's start with the ladies. You guys go ahead first.
Ladies first.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
Hi, my name's Melissa.
I'm Saint.
Okay, that was kind of a boring intro, guys.
Let's.
I don't know.
Let me. Sorry.
Yeah, you started. You have to give us like an extra icebreaker question.
All right, extra icebreaker question.
Disclaimer: this is my first time on a podcast.
Do you guys believe? Let's just have a short answer for this. But do you guys believe that traditional wives are ideal for dating? Like, is it needed to fix modern dating?
I feel like that's like a loaded question. I feel like for me, I have to like
just
process
yes or no.
it because
Yes or no, like a short answer, and then we'll get more into it.
I would like to be last, please.
What was traditional? Wait, what?
It's
right,
a multifaceted.
Let's
question.
define traditional wife first.
Wait, let's define it after.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. The question is, do you think traditional wives leads to a higher overall relationship success? Just a yes or no.
No.
You guys both answer no? Okay. Ladies are no? What about you?
Yeah, I also say no.
Okay. So,
Yes and no.
I forgot I introduced myself, but I'm your host, Panda. Welcome back to Controvert podcast, by the way. And I also believe no. But this sucks because now we can't have much of a debating topic.
Oh, no. I have some. Don't worry about it.
I'll still make it very engaging. Don't worry. Okay,
do you want me to say yes?
Yes. No,
yes.
I actually, so it's yes and no for me, but I'll go into that. You said a quick answer, but it's like mostly leaning to no, but there's a sprinkle of yes. And for me, I'm like this. I will always see both sides. I see yes and no. So maybe it's a Libra thing.
Okay, so we'll start with you, Melissa. So you said no. Why do you say no?
Because it kind of ties into this word that I don't really like, this label, feminism. And I can really go into, can we talk about feminism first as a foundation before we go into like your question of like modern dating? Why?
I think we could define traditional wives first, right? So,
okay,
I have something here. This is straight from a really credible source. Trad wife refers to a woman who adheres to traditional gender roles and expectations within a marriage or family. These roles often involve the wife taking on domestic responsibilities such as cooking, cleaning, and caregiving, while the husband may be seen as the primary breadwinner. So this primary credible source is ChatGPT.
Very credible.
That's credible.
I use it all the time.
Same. This actually makes sense.
Yeah.
But let's just assume that trad wives are pretty much like housewives. They don't provide that much income, or they provide zero income. Okay. So, Melissa, going back to what you're saying?
I feel like if I can prefer just going last, so I can really process it, if that's all right. So I would want to hear opinions first.
Cool. Trent, let's start with you, man.
Yeah.
Because today...
Let's start with the men first.
Yeah. Today, this podcast is because Trent called for it. He called for an emergency meeting to dissect this video that we have.
I just saw... Wait, do you have the TikTok?
Yeah, we'll play it later.
Okay.
I saw a very interesting TikTok, but I guess it's that one.
Okay.
So my answer is it's no, because I think the idea of a traditional housewife, it's just chronologically outdated. It worked at a time when the economy is not the way it is now, and a single person could support an entire family and pay off the mortgage and go on occasional family trips. And now, like, 2 people can barely support 1 dog. You know, it's a lot different times, I think the idea of relationships have to adapt to the times. So yeah, I don't think a traditional housewife would work in the modern days, and we need more modern ideas of relationships.
But some would say that it's just because these men are broke. So this man needs to make more money before he could actually have a traditional housewife.
Yeah.
Right.
So people do say that, and I actually agree to a certain extent. I think if a guy makes enough money, if he's bringing in like $1 million a year, okay, yeah, a traditional housewife, he can have that. That works out for him. But that's
what's the threshold to be having a traditional housewife?
Like, okay, for me personally, we've talked about this. For her to not work anymore, I would have to make at least like $400 a year to feel comfortable doing that. I'm not saying that that's impossible. I think I could accomplish that with enough time, but as of right now, I'm not there yet, and that's also still very far above the average. Like the median income is still like 60, 70.
All right, Melissa said she disagrees. So what do you mean?
Everyone has preference of their lifestyles, what they think marriage is, and I think every person has a way about what marriage brings. And I feel like as a couple, you can decide whether, like, I'm not gonna negate, like, if a woman wants to be a stay-at-home wife, I'm gonna, like, it's her choice, and if it makes her happy and she wants to be treated that and such, I'm not going to like put that.
But then we have to face the reality, right?
And there's a reality. Yeah, I'm gonna get there. And there's a reality of like, but it goes back to this video that I've seen of this very successful male entrepreneur, and what he said was very controversial. I need to go back on that TikTok, but like, it's about who sets the table. What does women bring to the table? And he explains what women bring to the table is setting the table. The male is the provider, but she, being a mom, there's a lot of things to help maintain a house. And I have to give respect to the male that's providing and the female that's like being a mom 24/7 is really hard.
Like what? What's there like take care of in the house? That's like very
maintaining
hard.
the house, like cleaning, taking care of the kids, however kids you have. I think on top of that, maybe she's going to try to create her own money and to contribute. I think like it's you shouldn't, every person has a way of contributing, and I know the reality, our economy sucks, there's no middle class anymore, and I get that a man wants to be able to provide and make a certain amount of income so he can feel comfortable. But like,
sorry Melissa, can I cut you off? So I don't know, I feel like I would disagree with that because like being a housewife, right, or just being a stay-at-home dad or mom or stay-at-home anything, whichever like if you're doing laundry, you're cooking and cleaning, these are like very brainless activities. You don't have to think too much. It's just maintenance. It's just like kind of wiping your ass, like when you take a crap and then you just it's just like really natural things, so you're just like you're not thinking too much. So when you're at work, you're like doing a marketing plan, or you do coding, right? When you're doing coding, you're like utilizing so much of your brain. So when you do these like easier tasks, it's chill, right?
Okay, how about this? We have a marriage where the male makes more money.
You want to get married?
No, the male makes more money, but the wife is also working. But she's the one's cooking, cleaning, all this other stuff. But he gets out late and he's making more. But he's like, since I'm making more, how about you do the cleaning more? How about you do the cooking? All this other stuff. Because we shouldn't dismiss the fact that there's two partners working full time, and there's some men, they're like, I'm making more than you. Why should I do this certain stuff? So I think partnerships and marriage, it's like, hey, I have 60% of energy right now. I'm the one that's been taking care of the kids. How come you're not? That's a good
effort. Point. I want to ask you that. So
just
you're
because she's right, like there's men out there. If there was no women to set up the table, what he's saying, it would just be a futon, a bed, or something. All the essentials, because as guys, they think about essentials.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that a woman can make like less than half of like what a man makes. But if she's putting like hella work into that job, like if she's working at McDonald's, working blood, sweat, and tears, she comes home late.
Doing everything else.
The man cannot expect her to do more, right, at the house.
It has to be like a mutual equal partnership. There's not, just because I make more money than you doesn't mean I should dismiss some of the less tasks. I feel like if my wife's tired and she feels 40%, there's mental health stuff, like, hey, I got you, I'm going to do the 60%. I'll take care of the kids. I'll give you a day. So it's like
It's good. Yeah.
so many factors that come into play.
Also, even though the tasks that you said were brainless, they still take time and
energy.
Yeah,
A lot.
and like even though if I'm coding using my brain a lot of times
Yeah.
if I'm having a really busy day, maybe I don't want to do my laundry and I don't want to like take care of the dishes. So that still takes time and effort.
But that's the argument like a lot of men have. They would go like, oh, well, the things to do a housewife chores, like it's really easy. So like, what do you guys have to say about that? Stephanie, you've been really quiet. So how about you answer that?
I've just been listening.
Getting enough sleep? You look out of it today.
I am a little out of it
We had a
today.
long night.
Well, yeah. Okay. So right now he works 2 jobs. I don't know if you know that. He has 2 jobs and he's back in grad school. So his mental capacity to do things around the house is smaller because he's just so busy. But I wouldn't say like the things that I do around the house aren't like tiring, even though like, yeah, it is quote unquote maybe mindless to some people because it's like, okay, I just have to put laundry in or like take it out, fold it. It's still like there's a lot of mental labor that goes into that too, because I'm constantly in my head having like a checklist of things that I need to do or accomplish, and it's like, oh, it's not just like, oh, as simple as, oh, I have to do laundry. It's just like, okay, there are multiple things that I have to do in the house, and then I have to constantly check them off my head, and then like I talk to him about, okay, so these are the things that I need done, and then it's like, oh, I know that you're busy, but these are the things that still need to be done. So it's just like
It's tedious.
So-
it's tedious, yeah.
Okay, I know you're not a housewife, but assuming you're a housewife, right? Would you say it's harder for the guy who's working outside and then coming home at like 5 p.m., 6 p.m.? Or is it easier for the housewife who's staying at home, taking care of the kids and taking care of the house, cooking and
Can
cleaning?
you rephrase that question? 'Cause
I
I'm a
feel
little
like I
confused.
can't answer that question fully because I don't got kids, right? Like,
Yeah.
I have dogs, but they're like, if you're gonna compare a kid and a dog, like, definitely a kid's harder to watch after, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like with that, it's, you can't just leave a kid unattended. Like, oh, I'm gonna do laundry or dishes for 10, 15 minutes, and I just need to put all of my attention on that. It's while you're doing something, you have to make sure your kid's not choking on something or getting into something they're not supposed to, tipping over a cabinet, killing themselves because they're little tiny people, right? They don't understand. So I think there's a lot of like switching back and forth, and I feel like for men and women, for guys, I think they're like a not one track mind, but they can't multitask as easily as like women, right? So it's like when they're doing a certain task, whether that's work, they're gonna put all of their like eggs in one basket to do that.
Oh, I disagree. I don't know about that. I feel like men handle pressure much better than
So I have
women
a
do.
really great example about this, and I would share a personal story. I was I guess, quote unquote, dog, stay at home dog. So I was in a relationship where I was with a person with an entrepreneur. He was in the entertainment industry, and he wanted our thing was, okay, so you are working at a restaurant right now, up and coming. I'm going to audition. I'm doing all this other stuff. There's a dog, and there's like a house with like bedrooms, bathrooms, like multiple, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. And what I would do to contribute is have his laundry, do his laundry, clean the dishes, do whatever I can, help with the utilities if I can, and pay for dog bills. He doesn't have time. I understand the whole mindset of the guy. And so his schedule was
Sorry, can you come closer?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Wake
Bring it
up.
closer to you.
Right now?
No, bring it to the table. Yeah.
Okay.
That's perfect.
So his schedule was, because when you said they can multitask or like this, like one thing at a time.
Yeah.
So his thing as owning his own production company, and you guys are always, because you work 2 jobs and you work a lot of things. His thing is, I wake up, he has to work out and train, all this other stuff. So he goes one thing at a time, and he doesn't have time to do the dishes. He doesn't have time to do all this stuff. He's like, I'm going to hire an assistant. I'm going to have to hire a housekeeper. So I totally get that. I'm having a brain fart moment to go back. Hopefully you guys can connect me back to
I
that
feel
point.
like what you're saying is handling pressure is different than multitasking on multiple things. Like,
And I remember I thought 24 hours in the day, he didn't have time to go to do groceries. There's like so much time goes about, goes fast.
So you're pretty much like the
So-
housewife?
But what, yeah,
Like
but
a maid?
I was doing my own things. I was working, doing like 3 jobs while he was doing his full-time
and
thing.
backtrack. Don't say housewives are maids. That's mean.
Did you say what? Housewives are made?
So, I mean, what's the difference then? Like,
The difference,
other than, like, one is a
going back
wife.
to like things. He complained like, there's so much things I have to do. I don't have time to have to do groceries. Going to traffic, going there, going back equals 2 hours. I didn't think of it that way. So I learned that from him. Like groceries, all these remedial, things. It's good to have a partner that does that. But like, if I'm doing 3 jobs. I'm doing the dishes. I'm cleaning the entire house, deep cleaning it, paying for the dog, doing all this stuff. But he's focusing one task at another.
But that's just one example, right?
Yeah.
So do you have
like
a statistic
she's
of
right.
many guys that you've done this for? Or?
No, because that was just, but it was 2 years, and I knew a lot of women that were doing that. Like, you guys have to take turns on tasks because it's tedious.
Dang.
Groceries take hours.
I should have saved the video. There's a video where they had men and women do like trying to take care of a fake baby, right? And they had like tasks that they had to do, like, oh, when you wake up in the morning, you have to brush your teeth, blah, blah, blah. They give you a list of things. They gave both men and women the same task. And they had a fake baby. And they're like, you have to keep the baby in this square. Like, in a certain square. If you're not holding the baby, and the baby's, like, crawling by itself, and it's a fake baby, you have to keep the baby either in the square or hold it on you at all times. And then they had them, like, complete these tasks in a certain amount of time.
And they have to, like, cook and wash the dishes at the same time. Yeah.
So they were, like, doing certain tasks. And then they would rank... They had like a ranking system on how like both men and women were doing it, and they tested like I think 5 to 10 men and women from both sides, and then women got generally a higher score than men. So that's why I'm saying it's possible that women are better at multitasking and doing certain things, whereas I understand what you're saying in men might be better at handling stress, like external pressures, right? Like, oh, I have these projects due, I have to do this, and there's a lot weighing on me right now, and then they're able to
handle intensity of one thing.
Yeah,
but in terms of like spreading it out, women are better at doing that. That's what the study shows. Okay.
So that's where I was getting at, and I understand what you're saying is like, oh well, like there are women that get really emotional, and when things are coming down, they lash out or whatever. But I think that's completely different from what we're talking about in terms of like multitasking and being able to juggle multiple facets of like maintaining like just everyday life stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's great at articulating my thoughts. Thank you.
Oh, you guys are both doing a good job. I
because
don't know.
you
used the word earlier. You're like remedial. I was like, what the hell does that?
I didn't catch that.
I was like, what
sorry,
is this?
I'm scattered.
Advanced word.
But
I think she's great at like I have scattered brains.
But yeah, so like what you're saying about like even if the task is easy or mindless, it still has to be done, and it still takes time and effort. And that's like saying like in a really large company, like what the janitors are doing, like just cleaning the company like headquarters or whatever. Yeah, some would say that's easy and it's like mindless, but it has to be done. We need them. And does the CEO want to do it? No, like he needs to do other stuff. So like it's still something that has to be done, but a lot of people don't want to do it.
It's like minimum wage workers. They contribute to society, and we shouldn't like look down upon or judge them. They have a space.
Okay, so what I want to ask you guys, like, if you guys could just choose to be a housewife, even including you, Tran. Say for example, you're a girl. Your name is.
Or he can be a stay-at-home husband. Have you heard of that?
Wait, what's up?
There are stay-at-home husbands too.
Yeah, stay-at-home husbands. Yeah, for sure. So if you could choose to be like a girl, like stay-at-home wife, or just like a stay-at-home dad, like would you want to do that rather than working frivolously on your
that's tough
job?
Because I like continually learning and improving and just growing in my life, and I don't think I could do being a stay-at-home husband because I would just be stagnant. I'm doing the same things every single day. I'm not growing in any way.
I have a question
but that's just me personally though.
I have a question for you guys. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Would you be okay if your partner made more money than you, but you wouldn't have to be a stay-at-home husband? You would be much less.
A lot of guys are not okay with that due to the pride and ego, right? Is that true?
I'm okay with that. I've been in relationships where that happened before.
Sometimes I wish that would happen. Spank me, baby. Spank me, mommy.
Spank me with those $100 bills.
So here's another situation.
Tired of taking care of girls.
I've heard another, like recently, 2 days ago, this guy, he asked me a question. He was like, they broke up with his relationship. So his ex-partner was a nurse. She was in school. And he was fully supporting them. But then she got her nursing job, right? And then now he's making much less than her. Her personality changed. And he broke up with her not because the money because she made more money. It was because the whole character changed. So in that situation, are you okay there, Panda?
Yeah, I'm a fine.
Okay.
You're a fine.
I'm a fine. I'm a fine.
You're a fine.
So the question is, in that situation, if your personality changes, where she kind of like embraced her masculinity, because I think I think every person has masculinity and femininity, but some may have balance and some may have more than the other. For me, I'm more masculine than my femininity. So for my question is, in that situation, if you had a partner that made more money than you and you can backtrack, but her personality changes, how would you go about that as men?
I guess it depends because
Wait, I thought you said his personality changed.
no.
No, her personality changed
Because she made more?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or
Well,
after
because
she made more.
because he was like, I prefer for her to be submissive. I'm not mad that she made more money. I'm like proud of her, happy with her, but the dynamic changed.
she was hypergamous, where she wanted like someone better than her.
No,
that?
she was just her personality changed. She was being more confident. She wanted more things, and she was just being more masculine. So she was embracing it like, ooh, I feel a little bit more confident in doing all these. He just wants someone that's submissive. And I told him, it's okay to have that preference, but don't
she
get
became
mad.
less submissive.
Yeah, so but don't get. But
Interesting.
he's not. He made sure I was like, I'm not mad that she made more money. It's just our whole relationship changed.
So she broke it off with him?
They mutually ended it.
Oh, okay.
But they have respect and care for each other. But he was like, but all those memories went away because like, she's not submissive.
Yeah, I guess like making more money doesn't, like by itself doesn't make a woman more masculine than me, but then if that along with her personality also becomes more masculine, then
And aggressive a little bit, but it's like
Yeah, I'd
preference.
then yeah,
Cut
that's
off, too.
different. Yeah, that if I only want a girl that's submissive, but if I also value a girl who's very ambitious and driven, then that might be more attractive to me. So it depends. But if he really wanted just a submissive girl, then yeah, I can see why
Hold on,
not.
Like-
I'm confused. So do you want a girl that's submissive, or like, because you just said like if you
I think I prefer a girl who has goals
okay.
and not just submissive.
Do you
yeah.
understand the confusion a little bit?
Well, I'm just
Wait,
I'm just talking about
yeah.
her example.
Yeah.
She wanted her friend who the guy only wanted a girl that was submissive.
But not.
Yeah.
It's just
And
like
so
personality.
she
Yeah.
stopped being submissive when she started making more money than him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
And
so
then
that-
for me, like I would just like cut it off at that point, because like a lot of guys like would not want like girls that are like more masculine than the guy. Honestly.
Actually,
So
I can
then-
beg to differ.
It
because
depends what you call.
I have proof
like,
on my matches, but
Because being
Comments,
ambitious,
comments, not
some
matches.
would call it a masculine trait, but I just think that's like a respectable trait for a
Yeah.
person to have. I don't label.
I've
that
met girls that
masculine.
make more than me, and then they're actually like very feminine. So I've also met like girls who make more than me that are masculine, but what I think that is defines as masculine is not by the money,
Yeah.
but it's more about like how she acts,
Yeah.
how she wants to control this guy, how she wants to control me. If she's like being bossy and like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, and then just like restraining me every single little thing I do. Like I'll give you an example. I kind of dated this one girl. She's a doctor before, and she would like tell me all these like health things. And I'm like, what the fuck? Are you like my mom? I'm like,
telling you to do them, or
because she's a doctor. And then so she would like be like, oh, you should take this medicine.
or
you should
maybe
take
that's
that.
her love language.
And then no, but it was like very forceful,
Oh,
and I found that very
oh.
masculine. It was a
Oh.
lot of pressure.
if you didn't listen to her, would she get mad?
She would kind of be like, not mad, but she would just be like, oh, you should just do this. Like it's like she would kind of lecture me.
Oh, like pushy? Was she pushy?
Oh
Yeah,
my-
it's like pushy. And it's like
no,
the normal
actually, you're
person would not-
describing me.
The normal person would not really do that. The normal person would not be like, oh, take this medicine, you need to do this, blah, blah, blah. I get it. Yeah, it's probably the love language. But I'm
And
like,
she's a doctor.
she's a doctor. I understand that. But then
Like we get it.
I was like,
I'm sweating. Like, help us.
No, because like okay, so I'm not a doctor, right? But I do a lot of research about fitness and health and whatever.
Yeah.
So when I see her doing something that I think is unhealthy, I'll tell her you should probably not be doing this. But it's like a suggestion.
yeah.
But it's because I know
But
too.
it's like, hers was not a suggestion. It was like, you should do, like, you gotta do this.
Like,
pretty
you
much.
have
It wasn't
to.
like you should do this. It was like, you got to do this.
Wait, I mean, no one likes unsolicited advice either.
Yeah, and then she would like bring it up a lot of times. Like, you know how like I have allergies? Like sometimes I sniff and stuff like that.
God, yeah.
Clear my throat. She would be like, you gotta take your medicine for like your nose, like the nasal allergies, the nasal spray or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, it doesn't work.
I don't think that's masculinity, by the way.
No, she would like do it like all the time though. She would just be
Okay.
like, you gotta take this. And I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, it's not working. And then she would kind of like get in an argument with me. Like
yeah,
she'd
I
be
got
like,
that.
this
Okay.
is like, you gotta
Okay.
do this pretty much.
Oh, if it turns into arguments, that's pretty annoying. Yeah.
Not like an
yeah.
argument. It's just like kind of
It's like
debate.
aggressive love.
Yeah. And she would kind of use like medicinal statistics. She's like, oh, like this is gonna work, or you got to see a doctor. I'm like, I've seen doctors, and she's like, you got to go again. I'm like, dude, this is stuff like my mom tells me to do. Why are you forcing this on me? You know, I get that you care, but it's just, yeah, I don't know. All right, Steph.
I'm not dismissing.
I feel like you wanna
Panda
say
doesn't.
something.
No, Panda doesn't want a mom. For you ladies out there,
He wants to be the daddy.
yeah, he
Oh,
doesn't want a mom.
That.
He wants to be a daddy without a mommy.
Okay, I just want to represent some so just because you have masculinity, if a woman has more masculinity than femininity, doesn't mean she can't be feminine. I can be. It's just like
I want to say, like, viewers, like, if you're watching this and you heard my case, right? Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Like, is that masculine? Is that feminine? Or is that just I'm tripping?
you're
And
tripping
if you're a
because
doctor
everyone
and
has.
you think Panda should change any health habits, also put that
I
in the
don't think
comments.
this has to do with masculinity or femininity. I
Hold on,
think
you
it
said I'm
has.
tripping. You said I'm tripping.
I think you're tripping. I think it has to do with a preference and personality type of thing because like I am like aggressive, you know, like hey, I care about. Everyone has certain love languages. Like let's say for me, my love language that I give is physical, and how I express is where's the affirmation what is it physical intimacy, whereas what I want to receive is acts of service and I do need touch and stuff. So her love language is acts of service, words, affirmation mixed together. And she had topped it up with a cherry on top masculinity. Like, I have to be stern with you because she probably thinks you're more feminine than her. And she can sense that.
Dang.
So she's like, so she
Panda's
Hell no,
feminine.
Hell no.
I'm sorry, but she has to.
No,
So
dude.
she has to overcompensate.
Oh, dude, we got
Maybe she wouldn't tell you what
this.
to do if you were such a bitch.
Yeah.
All right,
Wait.
that's it. That's
Wait,
it.
let me explain. Let me
This is-
explain.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Wait. See,
I'm more feminine.
No, but listen. So if your reaction,
Look.
let me finish, sir.
No, you've been talking. Here,
Can I
hold up.
finish? No, you've been talking.
You've been talking.
Let me explain
Hold on.
myself
Okay,
first
right, hold
before
on.
you get riled up, sir. Viewers.
All right, go ahead.
It's okay,
You're the
so
guest. Go ahead.
I
Or Simon.
recently dated someone that had more femininity than masculinity than me, but if his reaction is this way, that means he's not comfortable with his femininity, and that means that's lacking in the character itself. But it's okay. I want the man, like, it's okay to be feminine. Embrace that. Don't let, like, you're
Yeah.
allowed to cry, you're
All right,
allowed to
Melissa.
feel.
Okay.
And now that he's mad, and I like
enough
and
screen
then-
time. All right, my
Okay.
turn. All right. You ready?
I'm ready for the video.
Let's go.
Let me get the scene right. Okay. Men do not like confrontational women. So if you're
I know.
confrontational all the time, going like, "Hey, you gotta do this, you gotta do that," and then when I defend myself, right? When I defend myself and go like, "Well, I've already gone to the doctor many times,"
Then you're right on
Then-
that part. Yes.
she keeps going on and on.
And like this,
Right?
Yeah, that's a character. Not it doesn't
That
have to
would
do with
be-
masculinity or femininity. It's
that would
about
be-
personality
That's
clashes.
confrontational, and
Personality
masculinity is more confrontational. They're more assertive.
No, femininity. They can confront you when they can express their feelings when they're upset. Are we not allowed to express our feelings?
But that's like
Are we not allowed to express that we care about
that's
you?
emotions, right?
Yes, emotions.
There's a difference between emotions and challenging someone, being assertive, where it's like
Gotcha.
you're
Yes.
in like an office environment, right? We've seen like female bosses, like upper management
Yeah.
bosses. They're super assertive. Doesn't mean they're emotional. It doesn't mean they
Yeah.
are pissed off.
I agree.
But they're
Yeah.
just very stern, right? That's more of a masculine trait. That's what I'm trying to
I
get
think you can have a lot of femininity in you and still be a leader. I think you can still like woman empowerment, male empowerment. It doesn't matter about like masculinity and femininity. I think it's about someone's character and their soul, and upbringing factors go in play. So like this whole thing, like it's just you as a person. It's personality.
Sorry, I disagree with that, because I feel like feminine like leaders, think about it. If you're like a feminine leader where you're just like, oh yeah, it's okay, don't worry about it.
I think that's
I always see more so the girls who are like the top dogs, right? They're always the ones that are more stern. They're always like very assertive. They would be the go-getters. But if you're like, oh yeah, it's okay, no, don't worry, I totally understand. I rarely see that. I'm just being frank.
I've seen that though.
I've seen that. Yeah,
No,
I've seen that too.
I've
but
seen
like
feminine leaders.
less. Yeah, I know. I've
that
seen
go
women that are
that
leaders
route,
too.
yeah.
But more so, like I see more so women that are leaders where they're more assertive, not the ones that are more, I guess, what's the word? Like what people classify Asians as, not docile, submissive.
Submissive.
Yeah, docile. I think that's what. Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I think docile is the word.
Yeah. Well,
Did you say docile or hostile?
docile.
So you're saying that about women, that they're docile?
Oh no, he's saying
Feminine traits.
Ah.
You're gonna
Yeah,
ask
docile.
ChatGPT.
no, even better.
I riled up a panda, a cuddly panda, folks.
I'm thinking about that word now.
I'm ready for the video.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Panda, for talking too much. I mean,
No,
it's
so-
very
No, I like it. It's
hot
okay.
topic.
It's good.
because I have a lot of thoughts, but I'm
We're-
keeping it to myself.
We're
I've been
keeping
holding
it very
back, actually.
controversial.
Yeah, keep it controversial.
Well, I've been
not gonna,
holding
like-
back.
I'm not gonna have like guests where it's just like one side where we're just gonna be like, yeah. Oh, facts.
Yeah.
That's so boring, you know. Like, what the point of Controvert is? Like, we keep it controversial. We see a point from every point of view. So I really appreciate that. And Trent, you had something.
Oh
to say?
yeah. So I think a lot of things get kind of muddied when we talk about masculine versus feminine traits, because at the end of the day, there's no concrete definition of what's masculine or feminine. It all
I
is
agree.
defined by society. So if you want to talk about what's masculine or feminine, you're really saying what does most of society think is masculine or feminine. And if you're talking about assertiveness, I think most of society would still consider that masculine, whether you consider it masculine or not. And so when Panda's saying, yeah, the most successful women, like female leaders, are assertive, and that's a masculine trait. Yeah, I still think most of society would still see being assertive as a masculine thing, and whereas more feminine trait would be like more like emotional, like empathetic,
Yeah.
and more passive. So I think that's what he's talking about. And yeah, of course, you can be a passive, successful leader, but I do see Panda's point of where the most successful leaders, whether it's men or women, are still the ones that are more assertive and more driven, because they're the ones that are more heard in the rooms where they're speaking, and they get their decisions carried out. So I think that's what he's talking about.
Cool. All right.
Can I
I
clear
don't-
the air
I-
one sec?
What's up?
One comment. Just need to clear the air for
Yeah,
my
go ahead.
whoever watched. So when I said I totally regret saying the matches thing. I don't get. I get comments that I read, but it's not matches. It's the comments that I read that men have respected me on my profile, where I warn them like, hey, this is my personality. Hey, I'm the A, B, and C I put on my profile. And they made comments like, hey, I just want to let you know I really appreciate you for sticking to your truth and being honest. So
Put your profile on what?
on my when I just wanted to clear the air, like I don't have matches, but I like reading the comments that I receive that men have started to appreciate more when a woman speaks up and stands for her truth. And I was just really honest of like, hey, this is what you're getting into. And so they would just leave comments like, thank you, much respect for,
Oh, you're talking about online dating?
yeah, but that's
okay.
I made a comment earlier. I just wanted to clear that. Sorry,
Yeah.
So it's just like it's men, they do like confrontational. There are some men that do like that you stand in your
Depends. Yeah, it depends on the
yeah,
man.
it's just, so it depends. So he did make a comment about masculinity, confrontational, and guys don't like being confronted. But
Oh, yeah,
I've
yeah.
actually
Oh, I
had
see
the
what you mean.
opposite experience that they liked it.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Yeah. Just depends on the man. They're like,
Yeah.
there's so many different people out there who like different things. Yeah.
All right.
I think the word you're looking for is passive.
I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. I'm trying to look for that word, bro.
I don't know.
What is the word? All right, let's take a quick break.
Alright.
Well, anyways, let's get back to like the trad wife, because I know we skewed off like what is femininity and what is masculinity.
But I think that's important though. for this conversation.
Trad
Okay.
means traditional. Just saying. I keep hearing trad. Can you say traditional?
All right, let's just get back into
Okay.
like why we started this session. Okay, this session is started because Tran sent this video. Imagine this, the trad wife. Imagine this, the trad wife didn't work out. You have a 10-year gap in your resume. 4 kids that need to be taken care of while he is off living with another woman. So now you're at the food stamps office trying to see when your application will be approved. So asking the ladies, like, why do you guys want to not be trad wives?
It wasn't just the video; it was the comments too.
the comments. Okay,
Yeah.
can you explain the comments?
Oh no, the comments on this video. Can you pull that?
Yeah.
Because
quite a bit, though.
most of the time on TikTok, on a video like this, you would expect a lot of women saying like,
Women backing it up, but then it's a lot of alpha dudes, like HVMs, high value.
"Oh no, it's a lot of women actually agreeing with her."
Oh, really?
And warning other women like,
But
"Hey, you
look at-
shouldn't be a trad wife."
When's the last time anyone had to go to food?
Oh no, that wasn't there before, but let me see.
You need to your prenup stating that he'll deposit.
Oh yeah, like here, done the 43,
Yeah.
6, now divorced. So yeah, there was a lot of stories from like other women corroborating the same perspective, and I was like, oh, that's surprising. 'Cause most of the time, you see a lot of women on TikTok. They're like pushing the trad wife, I guess, agenda.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I feel like because a lot of women, they want the ability to work because they understand that once they don't have this guy anymore, then she's screwed. Like exactly like this. And then that's why I also don't believe in trad wife. I believe that a woman should have her ability to do what she wants to do, not like fuck around or be lazy or fuck guys and be a hoe. But I feel like she should have her ability to pursue her career.
Well, do you
And-
think that the people that are agreeing with like, yeah, you should be a trad wife are the women that are in the happy like phase of their relationship where it's like, oh, this has worked out so well for me, like, yeah, you should do this.
Oh no,
But
not just that. There's also single girls that'll be saying that too.
Yeah, but I'm saying like the people that are pushing for it, do you think that they are pushing for it because right now they're in that state where it's like, oh, it's working for me.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then there's people that have, you know, like they're a little more seasoned, they live life and they went through the bad part of it where it's like, oh, well, it didn't work out for me, so you know, be wary of this.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen like Whatever podcast?
Wait, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does
Is that with a
sound
bunch of Asians
familiar.
on there? Oh
No,
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 it's the dude and the
white guy?
OnlyFans girls.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
yeah, I've seen
yeah.
that.
So he occasionally has like these pick me girls where they go like, oh, I feel like you guys need to be traditional. And then they're like just like a stay at home mom. But then I feel like those types of girls, they might be a little bit extreme. Like I would say us four, we're more in the middle.
Yeah.
We're more balanced where we want someone who's also working, but not like doing OnlyFans and being crazy bold. We also don't want someone who's super traditional where we want someone just staying at home and not working, right? So we want to give women like the freedom to work, but not the freedom be like a hoe, like show off your fucking vagina online and stuff
I
like
don't
that.
know. Tran, how do you feel about that?
I'm actually okay with that.
I'm
My ex was an OnlyFans girl.
You're fine with that.
I was okay with that, but then I wasn't okay with her attitudes like in other areas of life.
So if she was feminine and she was doing OnlyFans, that's okay.
Yeah, but then she also wanted to be a trad wife and not work, and that was the part that I was like, well, so you want me to do everything while you just stay at home and scroll on your phone? And she was like, yeah, if you love me, that's the life you'll give me. And I was like, all right, that's not gonna work out.
Wait, what's wrong with that though?
Cause, okay, these were her exact words. She said, if a man loves me, he won't want me to work. But then, what about the other way around? Like, if you love me, then why do you want me to work? It's like, we should want each other to live
Balance
happy
out.
lives. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just seemed like, one of those, it's like an entitled thing to say.
Teeter-tottering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't like entitlement. So
I think that's like what a lot of us men face because we come across like some women that are like this where they just don't want to do work
yeah.
and they just want to rely on the guy completely, and then we just feel like there's not a sense of equality. There's not a sense of like this person wants to do a two-way street. It's just more so she wants to do whatever she wants to do and be lazy.
Yeah.
While the guy works hard.
And I'm not even saying like you gotta work as hard as me. You gotta have 2 jobs and go to grad school the same way I am. But at least have some goals, because if you just want to chill and do nothing all day and be stagnant, it's kind of boring.
Sorry, Melissa's been wanting to talk. Yeah, let's go.
Would you like to go first?
No, you go ahead.
Because since you're with him.
Oh no, that's fine.
May I?
We discuss all the time.
Oh, may I? May I, folks? So I personally have never I don't have an OnlyFans. I know some of you guys have been asking me. I wish I could make that much money. But
wait, why don't you though?
I'm gonna look at this. So I know my followers are gonna watch this. So I just want to clear there. So please stop asking me. Hold on. So I just want to make this clear, since thank you for this. I do not have an OnlyFans, and I will never have an OnlyFans. However, this is where I need to ask the guys questions, okay? Just because I don't have an OnlyFans, and just because my character, I feel like I personally don't want to have an OnlyFans, but I wish I had, honestly, I wish I had the ability in my character to just do it, because easily things will, fall into place. However, I'm not gonna, if you have an OnlyFans, I respect that, but tell me what you do with it. This is where I judge you on that.
All right, we're getting off topic a little bit too much. Back to the topic of trad wife. So I know you kind of answered this, but you wouldn't have a trad wife.
No, I wouldn't.
Why? What's your reasoning?
I think the biggest thing for me is having goals, because me personally, I don't want to be stagnant in life, so I can't also date someone who is okay being stagnant in life, doing the same thing every single day, like mundane things like errands or whatever, and then now we have nothing to talk about. I want to continue growing in my life, and I want to be with someone who's also growing in their life, so we can share in this journey that we're going on together.
Okay, so the problem I see with that is that Steph, she does cooking, right? She does cleaning.
Yeah.
She does cooking, cleaning. So she's working and also cooking, cleaning, right?
But I wash the dishes.
Okay, so
but she does most of it though.
There's a more okay. So there's still egalitarian point of view for this, right?
I try to help out where I can.
Question: do you wash the dishes or you put it in the dishwasher?
No, he actually washes the dishes.
Okay.
No,
Sometimes not that great, but he gets it done.
We actually wash it. Yeah. Okay. Well, so what I want to ask next is if Steph one day wanted to be a trad wife and you're making less than 400K, because earlier you said you need 400K.
Yes. Would
you be okay with that?
That would be a pretty long conversation. But she already knows my stance on it.
My dream is if he makes enough money, I want to not work at my job maybe and start my own business.
Which is totally fine.
Yeah.
Because she's having goals. Good. Yeah.
That's still having goals.
Exactly.
I feel like you could still be a trad wife and still have goals.
Yeah.
It just depends on how much you want to be a trad wife, right? Do you want to be a full-time trad wife 100%? Or do you want to be a trad wife where you're
I think like
full-time and still doing other things?
The thought of it is nice, right? Like, oh, you just kind of wake up and do whatever you want. And there are some people on TikTok that show you a day in their life, and they literally just have fuck you money, where it's their spouse gives them an allowance of I don't know, 20 grand a week.
Wait, that really
and that's
happens?
Crazy, right? So they're just oh, I wake up, I go on a shopping spree, and they're going to high-end luxury stores, and they're just buying things they probably don't even need, but they're just oh yeah, I came out, it's new, and I want it, whatever, they buy it. So it's oh, the idea of that seems nice.
Gold diggers, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but the idea of it seems nice, right? But
not
then
all
it's kind of
gold diggers.
I think, I don't know, that would get old, and
it should. It should.
Does,
yeah.
If that doesn't get old for you, I see that as a problem. If you're okay scrolling on your phone all day and then going shopping and then coming home, that's your day.
I feel like there's no color in life.
There's no growth there. Yeah.
Yeah, that person's definitely empty, lacking something internally.
To fill the void. And,
yeah. I don't like those types of people either.
Yeah.
That's why I also don't believe in trad wife. And all these guys out there on the internet, they're always talking about, oh, women are not traditional anymore. And there's a problem with that. They all want work, and there's a problem with women that work.
Well, do you think that, they want... they don't want a part. Do you think that it's because they don't want a partner and they want a mom?
No,
Unlike you, Panda. You know
No,
what
okay,
it is.
not a mom.
Okay, there's some that do.
they want a
So-
housewife. They
so-
want a maid.
But if you
That's
think
what
about
you're
it,
saying.
the
Mom is different.
back then women weren't really like heavy in the workforce, right? Like we had just beginning to make strides in women obtaining jobs and going out there and making their own money. But before then, the standard or societal standard was, oh, the men makes the money and women stay at home and take care of the house. So I think if you grow up seeing that dynamic, of course, there are a lot of men still to this day that are still going to hold that. Like, well, my mom was a stay-at-home wife, blah, blah. Like, why can't I find somebody that is going to do that for me? Like, my dad seems like he's very happy, blah, blah. He made all the money, bought the house, you know, took care of all of us. And she's a still stay-at-home mom. She's a great grandma or whatever they might see her as now. And they're like, why can't I find that? So I think it's just like the society in which they grew up in and what they saw their parents go through, and they're like, oh, I want something like that.
Well, they're brainwashed.
What?
They're brainwashed.
Sir?
You know why? You know why they're brainwashed? Those types of guys who expect that, because they don't even make enough money to sustain a traditional wife. They're the guys who go like, oh, I'm a high value man, Andrew Tate supporter, and I make this much amount of money, but it's realistically only 50K. You're not gonna support shit. You can't support a family like that.
Not even yourself.
Yeah.
Unless you're in
in
Virginia.
California, but we're talking about we're in California, right?
Yeah.
So in California, you're trying to support yourself with 50K, dude.
Nah.
You cannot even support your wife, or if you have kids, you can't support that shit either.
Yeah.
So all these guys, all these kids, I would say, talking about like, oh, I want a trad wife, bro. How much are you making? You ain't making shit. You're not even making more than 6 figures. You shouldn't even be talking at that point. That's why I think trad wife is outdated. And guys who expect a trad wife, he's got, like what you said, 400K. He's got to be at least making that much in order to actually deserve a trad wife. Right.
I have a comment. A lot of people lost their jobs. Unemployment is on the rise right now. I lost my apartment because I can't really say. I will tell you guys privately. I lost my apartment. I lost my job. My whole team lost their job. I had to move back to this hometown with my family, and my family, we don't have resources. I've never had a house. I've grown up in apartments and not having my own room. I have not had any privacy. So I was gonna so I looked at my mom. I was wondering, let's see if she makes a comment, because I know what house I'm coming to, and that you've had a lot of upbringings and resources, but I never judged you. I never judged anyone in this city that had more resources for me. But I will admit that my younger self was like, why me? Life's unfair, da 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 da. No. So you come from a like a upbringing, but I always deemed you as that guy. Like, I looked at you when I was a kid, I was like, I think that guy's gonna be someone someday. And I really, like, he's different from all the people that are in our hometown. And even though he has different things from me, I know that he's humble and he works hard and he makes something of himself, and he doesn't let his upbringing define him and his wealth. And I know that you work hard. You do multiple jobs and you go away from that label. But I'm going to tell you, I've met trust fund babies. Yes, I would get jealous or mad, but that's like something that has to do about me. It has nothing to do about them. Just because I was born, it was not, we have a genetic lottery when we come out of, sperm.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Oh, just going off that.
Yeah.
Do you
Sorry,
think that no. Yeah, it's going off of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Do you think that people it kind of goes back to, like, people are always judging, right? So I think that's the thing that kind of divides people. Mm-hmm. Do you think that it's like old money versus new money, right? Like the whole trust fund baby, which
or
might have more resources. Yeah, like someone who might have more resources versus someone who is self-made. So they're gonna judge each other, even though maybe they financially stand on the same ground now. They judge each other because it's like, well, I had to do so much to get here, but look at you. So I think
it's not about being self-made or having resources. It's more about like having resources and being lazy. So if you're also having resources and just counting on your parents,
it's also character.
Business,
it's also character.
and their network, rather than someone who just has those resources and purposely doesn't pursue those resources because he wants to be self-made, then there's a difference between that. And that's why, I mean, you guys, I'm just going to be honest right now. Like, what we were talking about is we're obviously talking about me, right? Because obviously I've come up from a good upbringing, like what you said.
But I'm not going to get your character or judge you in that way.
Yeah, and that's what gives me more of an authority to talk about that. It makes me more motivation
to be like you.
Yeah. So that's why I'm more able to judge these other people who come up also from a good upbringing, but they're also they're very lazy people like that who just count on their parents. So that's why I judge those types of people. I don't exploit my parents for their network and connections that they have. I work hard, and that's why I judge those people like I do. And that's why it also kind of goes hand in hand with like these trad wives, or that just want to do what they want to do and be lazy, or what you said earlier about, I don't think people, men or women, who want to do what they want to do are wrong. I feel like they're wrong, because if you have all these resources and you're just piggybacking off of it, like, for example, your boyfriend's rich and you're just doing jack shit, that's wrong, because you're not even being responsible as a human being, and that's a bad quality.
What if like you have someone that is like your partner is starting a business, and then like you don't do anything, but then you're helping your partner build their business?
There's a potential for that, but if you're not doing anything,
okay,
yeah, so if you're just like shopping, like what we talked about, just a girl who just likes to go on shopping sprees, that there's no potential with that. What are you gonna do? You're gonna like post on YouTube about, oh, I got this, let's do a Louis Vuitton Gucci bag review. If you know what I'm talking about. Box opening. You know what I'm talking about. Oh shit, you know what I'm talking about. Oh my god.
Do you know what they're talking about?
Yeah, it's like
there's
some halls. Yeah, like kind of like a haul, but it's more like so if, like, people like influencers, they get like brand deals or something. People send them like boxes, so they do like, oh,
what if she makes more money as an influencer? Like, I don't.
But that's the thing, like,
I feel like that's very niche though. Like, for you to go shopping or like to make money off of something like that, because there are some people who are quote unquote influencers online, but they put themselves into massive debt to flaunt this persona that you know, like, oh, I got this blah 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 and I want to review it. So I guess there's a difference, but you know.
Turn that light on.
Oh yeah, the sun's going down.
Trust fund babies. I've met good and bad.
No, but I understand where you're coming from, and
I get it. Yeah.
I think we're maybe getting a little off topic, but
totally off topic from trad wives. But
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, this still goes hand in hand with trad wives.
No, it does go hand in hand. Yeah.
Because trad wives, like, I view them as like they can do whatever they want, you know, because they're their own boss. They don't have anything to push them. I mean, they're hard worker trad wives, but what I'm talking about and what other men would talk about online is more so the trad wives who don't really do much. They're not really that ambitious. I mean, I think it's good, like, if you're a trad wife and you have like a potential business that you're doing on the side that potentially scales, or you're an influencer, and it's growing, has the potential to grow. But if you're just being a trad wife, then I think
some men actually like that though,
some men actually do like that.
They're able to like provide that. They're like, oh, if I make enough, like, I don't really want them to do anything, so they're okay with that. But I think a vast majority of, like, especially where we're coming from, the economy is really bad right now, so we feel like it should be a partnership, because there are certain things that you want, like, let's say a house or something. It's not like, oh, only one person is going to live in this house. Like, you know, both of us will, so it's like we should both be contributing to that, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
It's okay that you have an OnlyFans. Okay, I'll get there.
My ex was an OnlyFans girl. I'm actually okay with that.
So you guys are all okay about OnlyFans. You guys don't think there's an ethical issue about it?